Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Vanessa Collins, joined by Ted Ings, Richard Lupo, John Mord, and Jake Aschendorf, and we're here to talk all things Elite Extra.
Everybody, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Glad to have you here at Northwood University in beautiful Midland, Michigan. John, you and I met a few months back on one of the roundtables that we did. I want to start with you today. Managing staffing shortages at the dealership, particularly among dealership staff, that's a challenge for retailers such as Richard. How is Elite Extra helping dealers supplement their delivery fleets and deliver more with less?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I'm sure Richard can agree on the staffing shortage side of things. The first thing to say is that really we break it up into two different areas. First is being able to be more efficient with your internal fleet. What technology can you leverage to make sure that you are doing more with less? And that can come through automation. So if you think about it as Richard, I'm going to use you as an example. As you guys are writing orders that are going to have to get delivered to your customers, so it all starts with the DMS integration, having those orders come into technology, automation of the route building, the optimization of the routes, and then even automating them to the drivers that are going to be doing the deliveries. It seems that when you talk about things like that, the buzzwords are button clicks. How do I say button clicks? Button clicks equates to time. And so if I can save button clicks, I'm going to save time. The second part of that then is really on the staffing shortage side. If you don't have enough drivers, if you've got too much volume that you need to get out, how am I going to get that product to the customer? That's where something like a third-party delivery network can really be powerful and game-changing. Being able to leverage third-party fleets like DoorDash, like Go Local, like Curry, so that you can actually manage your fleet and leverage the third-party fleets and automatically call them in to pick up a part and complete a delivery on your behalf. So those are probably the two biggest areas that stand out when you think about how do I manage more with less.
Jake, could you weigh in on that as well?
Yeah, so Ted, I'm going to sum that all up as you know, Epicor, we're a data company. It's all about the data. So we're bringing those actionable data and turning data into insights so that dealers can more efficiently staff and use it.
So Richard, you're at retail over at Appletree, yep. Honda and Acura. Tell us your thoughts.
The analytics part of it, taking that data, those Lego blocks,
yep,
and building that model, being able to tell in real costs what deviating from that route and what it actually costs to do that hot shot in actual data means a lot. Coming up with creative solutions like DoorDash to deliver parts, integrating that all into one thing makes it makes a big difference in the efficiency of your operation, getting the most out of your resources, assets that you have, the greatest one being your people.
That's fine. Good luck.
So as we all know, customer service can be a huge differentiator in winning and keeping customers. So my question is, how does Elite Extra help dealers provide a high-level customer experience when it comes to their wholesale parts deliveries?
Yeah, great question. Historically, and I'm going to bring everybody that's been in the business 1 year or 40 years back, but historically, customer service has always been a reactive thought. You waited until the customer called to give them an update on the status of their order. And so how do you turn that reactiveness into being proactive? And that really comes through just open communication, open visibility. That can be done several different ways. It can be done through email notifications, text notifications, e-commerce integrations, wow, so that you can send data proactively to the customer, answer their questions before they even know that they have a question, so that they can stay informed, they can stay up to date as far as when is my part going to get here, what's the status of it, who actually it was delivered, who did you leave it with? Because now I have to go find that person to figure out where is this part at. So being able to share all of that information, again, in an automated fashion, but being more proactive than reactive is really the key there to make sure that you're leveraging the best customer experience that you can.
Jake, your thoughts?
Yeah, so as we all know, CSI and customer satisfaction is at the cornerstone of every business, right? And it always seems that the happy customers are always willing to pay a little bit more, or they forgive you when you do have one little misstep. So every single interaction that we can have with the customer, if we can make it memorable and we take care of them from a customer service aspect, just means that they're going to be loyal to the experience more so than anything.
And Richard, this is very innovative. Some of the things that they're doing, utilizing things like DoorDash and some of the things we've heard today.
Sure.
On the parts side of all things.
Yeah. I want to actually throw it back to you for just a second, because CSI, CSE, ACE for Acura, what we deal with, because customer satisfaction. We here at Northwood, talking to these young students, it is about relationships. And one of the things that you put out front is Midwest Nice, right?
Yeah.
And your solution is truly comprehensive and catching all these different aspects. But Midwest Nice is where it starts with you guys, right?
Absolutely.
Tell us about that. Tell me about that.
John?
Yeah, I mean, Midwest Nice, it's a thing. I mean, it's great to hear you say because it's a thing. And I think it goes back to some of the other messaging that we heard. It's just how you treat people.
Yeah.
To piggyback off of what Jake said, if you treat people good, they're going to forgive you if there is a misstep. It's when those missteps happen, how do you handle them? And the Midwest Nice is a thing, making people feel comfortable about it, but also being able to share information that's both accurate and in real time is also part of that. So that you're not only just being Midwest Nice, you're sharing information that they can trust.
Right, right.
John, at the most recent Fixed Ops Roundtable was when Epicor introduced Elite Extra to a lot of the members of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and we started talking about things like returns management, and I was surprised to learn there are a number of Fixed Ops Roundtable dealers who are utilizing Elite Extra. You had a dealer in Texas who was on there as well. The returns and managing that continues to be one of the biggest challenges for dealers. What capabilities does Elite Extra offer to dealers?
And we could spend the rest of the day talking about the trouble and the problems within the returns management process. Yeah. But I think everybody would agree the returns side of the business has been one area that's been untouched for years as it relates to technology to manage returns. One of the great things is that we got started in the dealer space 15 years ago. And so we've been sitting here for 15 years watching the problems in the returns process. And so bringing that consumer-like experience to the B2B world was a big focus of ours. And so if I had to sum it all up and take a 3-hour conversation and sum it up into how does returns management really, or returns automation really help a dealer, it really comes down to really 3 areas. First off, it's going to be a part that you sold them, and so you don't get parts back at the dealership anymore and say, I didn't even sell them this part, so it can guarantee that you actually sold them the part. The second thing is visibility. So not only internal visibility of the status of the return, but really making sure that the customer is up to date as far as what is the status of my return? Is it picked up? Has it been picked up? What's the status of the credit? All of that can be encompassed within the returns automation process. And the third is really being able to automate your returns policy, so that even before, as the customer initiates a return, you can automate and enforce your returns policy to really set the stages of, I'm going to automatically accept this return. I'm going to need to get approval on this return because it falls outside of some window. Or 3, I'm just going to automatically decline it. It doesn't meet any of, it's a special order. It doesn't meet any of the policies that we have related to returns. And so those are probably the 3 biggest areas in which the returns automation process can really help streamline the process for the dealers.
Jake, this is starting to sound a little bit like Amazon, some of the things. You're taking a page from their book.
Yeah, there's no secret, right? We win them with and wow them with customer service when we sell the part. But when they do make a mistake or it's not the right part, how do we take care of them from that standpoint? So returns automation is a huge game changer for dealers and everybody to be able to now automate and give that same upfront customer experience when it's not that good experience, right? They're already upset. They've already wasted time. They have the wrong part. Now their end customer is upset. Let's at least make it automated and easy and efficient for them to now return the part and get the credit that's needed.
Does that make sense for dealers like you?
It does, and if I might drill down just a little bit on that. So if we're serving a lot of collision repair customers, and we're sending out a crash parts kit, and then getting returns back, dealing with insurance companies. And the amount of parts that we send out versus what we get back are sometimes different. Mm-hmm. And your solution for that is very, 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 very helpful.
Right. Yeah, being able to drill all the way down to that line item. Yeah. Absolutely.
And the people that are in that sector of the business know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's a great solution.
Yeah, excellent.
Data and analytics drive so much of our business today. So pivoting a little, my question is, where does Elite Extra leverage data to increase efficiency of the dealers and provide insights into their operations?
Yeah, and it all starts, in my mind, with the integrations into the different DMSs, whether you're running Reynolds and Reynolds, CDK, Techion, DealerTrack. It all starts there because that's where a lot of the data is being housed and being shared and integrated into solutions like ours. And so being able to leverage that data and then incorporate all the data that's being collected as parts are out for delivery delivery, it's really going to show dealers how efficient are we being? Are we being as efficient as we can with how we're staffing ourselves? What are some of the exceptions? What didn't we do so well today? Being proactive in addressing those, and then drilling down into how profitable is that route? I'm going across the state every single day. Am I making money on that? Do I need to adjust that? And so being able to take all of the data and analytics that relates to that and combining it with the data that you get and store within the DMS is a pretty key component to making sure that you're efficient.
Well, John, I want to thank you, and I want to thank Jake for bringing this to the forefront.
Yeah.
Both Elite Extra and Epicor. What a great combination, Jake.
We couldn't be happier.
Yep, absolutely.
And Richard, thank you so much for being involved with us today. All right,
Thank you.
Yeah, and all you do for fixed operations. Everybody, stay with us. We're going to be right back. We're here at Northwood University. We'll be back with the Fixed Ops Roundtable in just a moment.